Hello, folks, and welcome to a series of videos that I'm going to use to help people understand a little bit about what we do in the Calvert Strength and Performance Program and how we use that program to continue to grow young people into the best versions of themselves. And so we'll have a series of videos, short as I can keep them, giving you guys a brief amount of information that covers certain things that I think are vital and important for you guys to understand as we use this form of athletic improvement to grow your son or daughter. So with that, let's get into session 1. Session 1, introduction to the Calvert Strength Performance Program. All right, in this session, we're going to go over certain things, and here's the outline that goes over what we're going to cover here. What's the purpose of the strength and conditioning, strength and performance program here? What makes someone qualified to be the director of a strength performance program? And what does a program design look like for you, the athlete? And so hopefully these will cover some of the introductory questions that you may have leading into the decisions you need to make and what your son or daughter will do and use and how they'll use the program in the off season. So the strength and performance program at Calvert High School is pretty much the same in its mindset because obviously I'm the person in charge of the Calvert High School football program and the director of strength and performance here at Calvert High. And so the mindset and mission is kind of the same, to intentionally use the strength and performance program to significantly impact and transform lives. And so we do look at that as continuation from what we try to do with our young men that are on the football field. And now I get the opportunity to work with those guys who are not participating in a sport in the winter or spring and want to continue to grow in their athletic prowess, but also continue to grow as a young person. What's even better about this opportunity for me is that I get a chance to work with other athletes in our school building, in our community. So that's kind of exciting because now we're able to bridge the gap between the football players and be able to build a community amongst other athletes in the school. And so what we did is I kind of built in some information here that we talk about and why the purpose of this strength performance program is so important. It helps prepare us for life, right? And so when we think about preparing us for life, we think about what it looks like beyond the walls of the strength performance program, what it looks like beyond the field. And I think that the continuation of understanding what it looks like when we leave Calvert High School and how what we did in that weight room can continue to grow us and help us become better people. So I pulled up this quote from a well-known internet or website blog, and it says, in conclusion, strength conditioning is an essential part of the high school athletes who want to reach their full potential and stay healthy. By participating in a well-designed program, athletes can improve athletic performance, reduce the risk of injury, and develop discipline and work ethic that will benefit them for the rest of their lives. To dig deeper on that, though, I think that there's a lot of what we try to do with our football players during the football season that's continued over into our weight program here at Calvert High School. And I say weight program because we're in the weight room a lot, but truly is a full encompassing strength and performance program that allows us to develop not just the strength and size and mass of an athlete, but also their speed performance as well. And so in that, I know that those things are the things that our kids may sign up or come for, but reality says that I've got to be prepared to help these kids become better people, right? To help them be uncommonly great in whatever they choose to do beyond high school. To use this moment to help impact the hearts of our kids, help grow their character, help them grow into the great personalities they can be. And then the next thing is to grow as a team. And camaraderie, as it's stated here, is the feeling of a mutual trust and friendship among people who spend a lot of time together. Trust between unit members is essential to completing the mission, which is why the military goes through great lengths to build unit cohesion. And so here, we can not only grow in becoming uncommonly great in our own person, but we can do this as a team. And there's no other place you can do that other than what you do on the football field, what you do on the court, what you do in the wrestling room, what you do in the swimming pool or on the track and a weight room, is you're doing things together as a team. And you can't get that anywhere else. And we have a 4-year time period in which we can actually use this time to cultivate team and our value in being with others. And we know in the real world, Being a team is significant. If you talk about the business model, obviously you're a part of a team. You could be the leader of the team. You could be the quarterback of the team. You could be the third baseman of that team. But when you talk about your family's a team as well. And as a father or as a wife, you guys could be important leaders to your children. And so we want to develop team camaraderie, and we get that in the team environment that we create in the weight room. And prepare for the next level. Whether they are going to college or not, all right, we can lay a solid foundation for movement, develop a college mentality, and teach them to be coachable. And I say this because you know what? We may or may not right now want or think that we're going to play in college, but you know, we want to make sure that when we get to that moment, when we end our high school career, we know that we're prepared to go to that next level if that's what we choose to do. And I've always thought that way. I think it's important that we always think of ourselves in that next position up. If I am a quarterback, then I want to think of myself when I leave being a coach of quarterbacks. And then if I'm a coach of quarterbacks, eventually I got to think of myself, even on coaching quarterbacks, as the offensive coordinator. And as offensive coordinator, I got to think of myself as the head coach. And as a head coach, I need to think of myself as the athletic director. And as athletic director, I got to think of myself as the principal of the school. We always got to do that because I think it keeps us mindful of what the next big step is. And whether or not we go there or not, it keeps us cognizant of what's important to things that go on around us and not just in our own bubble. And so be it that we may or may not play college sports, we want to create a program here that I think prepares us for college sports. And I think if you ask our athletes that are playing college now, and whatever sport it might be, softball, football, soccer, whatever it might be, you can ask them and they'll tell you that our program has helped prepare them for that next level. Because when they go to college, they're going to be training in a team environment. When they go to college, they're going to be working on the things that we work on in the weight room. And they're going to go there and they're going to be more than well equipped to go out there and perform and play at a high level on that field, but more importantly, be successful in that weight room, because that's where we have to develop our athletes in the off season. Now, if a kid doesn't choose to play sports once he leaves high school, then what does he hurt? He's hurt nothing, because in the end, we want to help prepare our young people through the weight room to help them be great young people, great young men and women. And that could include not just being great character people, but teaching them the values of what it looks like to be fit. We don't just tell them, here's a workout program, how to do this. We try to explain to them why we do what we do. And I can tell you the number of people who have left our programs, be it through here or other places I've been, that have come back to me and still practice some of the habits they learned through our strength performance programs has been too many to count. And so that's the important thing, is to give these young people ownership and prepare them for life. And so that's the purpose of the Calvary Strength Performance Program in a nutshell. Let's move on to the next. So what makes someone qualified to be a director of strength performance program? I'm not here to tell you that I've got all the answers and I do things all the way that you may understand or the way you did it when you grew up. I can't. I don't even begin to say that, but I do know that what we have done through the years and years of training has proven to be successful. And I say we because it's not just my effort. It not just includes other coaches who come in and help, but it also includes the athletes who have to buy in and own it. The first and foremost, certifications, right? I'm certified through the Strength Conditioning Specialist, which is a program that is founded through the National Strength Conditioning Association. All right, just to take something away from one of these great websites online, it talks about this certification. It says, if you're looking to elevate your personal training career or start working with athletes in general, the CSCS is the gold standard certification for strength conditioning coaches. Here are some things to keep in mind if you're thinking about registering for the CSCS exam. 1, set the the CSCS exam requirements is that you have a bachelor's degree and CPR AED certification. Now, my bachelor's degree is in kinesiology exercise science. And so they traditionally like to have you have a bachelor's degree that caters towards the health and science fields. The CSCS is designed for coaches who work to aspire to work with athletes and collegiate teams. And performance training facilities often will require the CSCS to apply. And so that is something that I think is important. That's why I sought out this certification back in 2004 when I was finishing up my degree in exercise science kinesiology, University of Maryland. Now, my experience, I have over 25 years of high school coaching experience 3 years at university. And I have a bachelor's, as I said before, in kinesiology from the University of Maryland and certifications through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. I'm a certified personal trainer and a certified strength conditioning specialist. I've had those certifications since 2004, and I'm still current. And so, again, I don't say that to boast, but just to let you know that that's some of the things that I have in my repertoire that helps me be prepared to work with your student athletes on a regular basis, in season and out. I do have a couple referrals here, references from two prominent people in the strength conditioning world. The first one is Dwight Galt, and he speaks highly of the data and information that has come across that I've shared with him from working with the kids in our programs. He is a retired strength performance coach, formerly of the University of Maryland for over 25 years, then went to Vanderbilt University and finished his career prior to retiring at Penn State. And I still keep in contact with him. He is my mentor, and he led me when I was a strength performance coach at University of Maryland from 2002 to 2004. And of course, Coach Fitzgerald, who I just found out at the start of the year, got a new appointed position as a director of football performance at University of Florida, leaving the New York Giants. Man, I tell you what, he's coached for 2 NFL football teams and has been scattered throughout the SEC, be it through the University of South Carolina, and then, of course, at Penn State, and then now back at University of Florida. I love him. He is a very highly energetic man with a lot of passion and coaches his athletes to a high level. And he's got just a very diversified background in coaching, and he sends accolades our way about the things that we do here at Calvert High, and we keep in regular touch with one another, and I appreciate his referral as well. And, I'm excited to see what the future brings from him at Florida. But these are just two guys who co-signed that I worked with when I was at University of Maryland at the college level. Lastly, when you talk about what makes someone qualified to be a director of some performance program, these are the things you should be looking for, and I think this is important. Now, this information was taken over a 3 to 4 year period while I was at Huntingtown, and rather than shifting and changing all the information there and calling it Calvert High or whatever, because I know that we don't necessarily won't understand sometimes how this pertains, but data is data and information is information. And, I use this information back then to go over and look at what exactly we're doing in the weight training program there and how that was being used to grow our athletes and what were the results as it pertains to what we were able to do looking at these athletes over the duration of these years. And so I was able to take these athletes here that we were able to follow that made 80% of the workouts. We weren't heavy in nutrition-based programs. I was teaching mildly about what it looked like to eat properly and do things like that. But it wasn't until after this that we really focused on nutrition and help these guys understand how to deliver when it comes to eating the proper food and getting the proper amount of rest to get even better results in here. And so we looked at this over a 3-month period, them coming in during the summer prior to their freshman season, and then their training right before their senior year. So this is just 3 years and 3 months, and we calculate this data to come up with what the realistic expectations would be utilizing the strength performance program we used at this time. Now, the ironic thing is that our strength performance philosophy, which is a conventional model where we work to create the best power clean numbers we can, be the best squatters, the best bench press, and work all the auxiliary type lifts that go along with those things to build a very well-rounded athlete in conjunction with the speed and condition part of it. And those things all take into account what we're able to solidify here. And we're still doing those things today. Maybe some of the nuances of things change a little bit, but traditionally the same exercises, the same commitment to things that we need to do to get better are found in the same training modalities that we used back then, we still use today. And so from that, you can see that with bench, we can say that an athlete should gain about 45 pounds per year on their bench press, about 45 to 46 pounds per year on their power clean, and lastly, about 72 pounds per year on their squat. And that's if they commit to 80% of the workouts and they don't hit the mark in their eating and nutrition as well as they should. And those are pretty significant gains that you can make. Now, that means that these young men or women need to be training 80% of the time each cycle. Now, that means that there has to be a part of an in-season training program. This is not to say that this is more important than playing other sports. That is totally contrary. I want our young people to play in other sports. However, you can make a commitment, and our softball players have been great about that. Our football team does that as well. We make a commitment to be in the weight room and continue to use those gains or those times in the weight room, both in season and out, to make the gains necessary to continue to grow as an athlete. Now, we do know that weightlifting should not replace or impede performance when it comes to sport when we're in a given season. However, we do know we don't want the gains that we've made to be lost with our strength performance program, okay? And then our improvement in our skill of a particular sport to grow. And all of a sudden now we've kind of got a wash where we've gotten better in our skill, but our strength and our performance in the athletic world has diminished. So we want to kind of keep that thing going on both levels. And it takes a very calculated approach to make sure that happens. And I think we've done a very nice job of that. What does a strength performance program look like for you? Well, play other sports at Calvert High School, I think, is first and foremost. And this is stated through the NFHS website, whether the goal is to participate in high school sports and activities to have fun with your peers, or to achieve a college athletic scholarship, or to be a lifelong participant, the best route to achieving a successful and healthy balance in life is to participate in multiple sports and other activities. And of course, you can see that, a lot of times we're driven to play at elite level and ultimately make it to college to play sports. Well, playing multiple sports has been said time and time again to be a great avenue to do that. It teaches the ability to be coached by many different people, right? It also teaches the ability to move in different ways because different sports may have different demands on our conditioning or athletic movements, all right? But it also allows us to continue to build a great team camaraderie and team connection with the community which we're in, Calvert High School. And I tell you what, you can't replace that. You might play college sports or do anything else, but I think if you ask anybody who's had the opportunity or privilege to play sports in college, they'll tell you that playing in high school is the best experience they've ever had. And so we want to continue to keep that going. And we know that, if today is the only day we have to go out and do things, we want to do it at the highest level possible here in our community. And then if we have tomorrow, we're going to build upon that. And so playing sports at Calvert High School is prima number one, but know that my role and responsibility to you as a director of strength performance is to help you facilitate a way to continue to train in season and out if you're playing football, if you're playing any other sport, or if you're not. And so we can help continue to make you grow as an athlete through the weight room and enhance your sports performance in any sport that you may choose to play at Calvert High. Seasonal. The biggest mistake I see in athletes make is performing the wrong type of training at the wrong time. You may make gains, but you're most likely to peak at the wrong time. Use the following off-season and in-season training guides to ensure that you're spending the right time on the workouts that will help you perform your best in clutch situations on the field or on the court. And again, that was taken from a well-known website called stack.com. Now, just to reiterate what this means is that a good strength performance program will have a seasonal training protocol. We build our training protocols and how we manage the way we train our cycles around the sports season. So right now we're in our winter season of training and we're going to peak out at the end of winter, right at the end of February. So that way any athletes leaving us and going into the spring will be ready to go and play spring at the high level. We'll also be able to easily transition anybody who's not playing a spring sport from their winter sports season into the weight room to work out with us as well. And so that's the way we do things. We have a winter, spring, summer, and fall training cycles. And so those could include true off-season training where you're not engaged in a particular sport at Calvert High School. And they can also include in-season training, which means that you're in a season training program because you're playing a sport at the time at Calvert High. So those things are important, and the workout programs could look different. And so those things are important, and that's what you should expect when you become part of our strength performance program. Personal trainers. Myself, I can tell you that I've done personal training. I've trained athletes that played in the NFL. I've trained college athletes. I've done a lot of personal training on my own, and I do enjoy that. And you know what? There's a value in that. And we have some phenomenal personal trainers in the area that not only know their craft, but they also can bring out the best in our athletes. And I think having those people help us and kind of supplement what we do at Calvert High School through our strength and endurance program is essential to the elite athlete that wants them to reach an elite level and make a commitment to play beyond high school. But I can tell you that those trainers will tell you that this personal training device should not replace what you should be doing as a team in our strength performance program. They will look different, all right? But there's nothing that can replace training as a team. And the team idea in our facility, in the weight room, would require you to be more accountable to yourself and each other, can build camaraderie, we've talked before, will help develop things in a very strategic manner that will help you grow in your athletic prowess, as we've talked about. They mirror a lot of things that happen on game-to-day basis between any sport you might find, even practice type basis with the way things are structured for practices. The weight room kind of facilitates that. But at the end of the day, you're battling against the weights. You're battling against yourself. And sometimes it's important for the rest of your team to see the way you push through that. You can develop leaders. You can develop the dogs in the weight room. And you need to do that as a team. And then you work with your personal trainers. Now, working with the personal trainers is essential to develop the more personalized things that you need to work on to make yourself personally great. Now, I can give you insight and information on how to do things that you need to do to uncover and unpack some of the things that you need to work on to help you. I have all those tools. And I certainly would take extra time after a workout program to go over those things. But after a 2-hour workout program here at Calvert High School, you might be too tasked or exhausted to do that. We'll also talk about how you're supposed to eat and rest and do those things you need to do to enhance what you experience in our weight training facility, and also what you may do with a personal trainer. But that personal trainer and you can work on some other specific details that you may want. He's also going to be able to give you that one-on-one attention and motivate you a little differently, which is important too, okay? But at the end of the day, that personal trainer, nor am I going to be on that field or on that court with you when you're playing with your team. We're not going to be there to kick you in the tail. Now, we'll be there on the sidelines to help you out when you come off the sidelines. At the end of the day, you got to find an intrinsic motivation to go out there and be great. And that's what the weight room gives you when you're in that weight room together. And so that personal trainer and that strength and performance program at the high school can work together in synergy to help create a wonderful environment that helps you become the best athlete you can become. But there has to be synergy. There has to be a complement between the two, which requires you as the athlete and the parents to communicate effectively between the two of them to ensure that we're not overtraining your athlete. Meaning, when you're training 20 to 30, athletes in a weight room here at Calvert High School, we're going to be doing things on a specific structure and a specific basis. We're going to be checking these things and periodizing them out so that way we finish things off at a certain time of the year. So we could have different type of loads, different type of intensities on the weights. Those things all come into the play, and they should impact the way a young person goes into their training with their personal trainer. And so your communication to your personal trainer is vital to help them understand what they should be doing in their training and what they shouldn't be doing in their training, so we ultimately get the best results for you. So that, in a nutshell, is what we've done here and what we're trying to do through our strength performance program. I hope this answers all the basic questions that you could have, and I look forward to working with you guys in the future. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime you need to. I love you. I can't wait to work with your son or daughter through the Calvert Strength Performance Program. I'm out. Boom.